this is not a place where people should be. It's not a place that's safe. It's not a place that's healthy. The first time you step on that dump, it's something you can't even really prepare for. You come over the crest of that hill and you see these people working on the dump. You see children on the dump. You see trucks flying by, dropping off trash, picking up trash. You can just feel the danger of the environment. Medical refuse burning. The smell is that is what really gripped me, was toxins are in the air, a lot of different things that are just dangerous for the children, dangerous for the people up there. It's just not a good place to be, especially the children. The children in the dump, your heart just goes out to them. There's a lot of opportunities up there to minister to the people. A lot of people up there need to get off that dump, and we can be that avenue of getting them off and giving them a second chance in life.
After Trash Mountain Project was founded a couple of years ago, we really began to seek God on what He was wanting for this ministry and where we were to be serving, and after getting our start with Honduras and Cambodia. And as we were seeking Him, we met Pastor Pablo and Kids with a Hope through a mutual friend, and it was just obvious that Santiago, Dominican Republic was where He was leading us, but we had no idea what was going to happen after that.
Bueno, al ver la necesidad que tenía esta comunidad, de que muchos de estos niños iban al vertedero de Rafael, que andaban en las calles desnudos, descalzos, eso movió mi corazón y sentí establecer esta institución.
As a ministry, we believe that we are to live the command that Christ gave us to serve the forgotten children of this world, children such as Christie.
Well, I first was introduced to Christie through the photographs that my husband brought back from a trip. She was a beautiful little girl, but obviously very, very sick and very, very underweight. We heard the story of Christie, who was HIV positive.
The first time I met Christie, I remember seeing this sweet little girl come over to me smiling and asking me with great expectation in her voice if we could help her. And I came to find out that she had been born HIV positive and that it had progressed to full-blown AIDS at this point as an 11-year-old. And that she had just said to me, "Pastor, you are from America. I've heard that you have pills that can make me feel better. I've never felt good before in my life. Can you bring some back for me?"
But what do you do when you're so far away?
After returning to the States, I remember coming back and meeting with Connie Fleming, who is heading up our healthcare program.
Several of us did some research online to try to find HIV clinics in the Dominican Republic. I had a coworker who spoke Spanish who helped me to decipher some things online.
Because we really didn't have any idea about how to do this, and the research began.
At that time, she was very, very sick.
About 2 weeks after our return, I began feeling very burdened for Christie, and I wasn't really sure why, so I sent an email to Pastor Pablo, and his report back to us really made our hearts drop. We had found out that her CD4 count was so low that if she was to get sick, we were probably going to lose her. As we were praying for Christie, all we could think about was that we need to send out an SOS to everybody. And so our team began doing research and sending emails to everyone we could. And I remember thinking we just need to send an email out to all of our prayer team throughout the country. And when we did, we couldn't believe what happened next. Within 24 hours of sending out this SOS for prayer, we received confirmation from a doctor in Santiago, the very city that Christie lives in, that they would accept her into the AIDS clinic, give her all the medication and treatment she needs, free of charge, if we could just get her there. This just blew our minds. God answered a prayer that quickly and made things happen there's no way we could have done ourselves.
So Christie was able to get into the clinic. She has certainly gained a lot of energy. She's certainly come out of her shell, and she has so much more vitality and so much more life to her than she did before.
In addition to the dangers that Christie was facing within her body, we were also concerned for her living situation, where she was sleeping. And we came to find out that her dad had already started building them a new home, that we could help come alongside of him, give them the final resources they need to get her into a better situation. And they built them a new home, and her family is now moved, and she's sleeping in a much safer environment. All the dangers that Christie faced in her neighborhood exist all throughout the community surrounding the dump. And so we began to turn our focus to the facilities at the Kids with a Hope School and started plans for a much bigger project to add several classrooms and give the staff and students a safer, cleaner environment to learn in.
A really good example of the abuses that these children faced on a day-to-day basis was that just about a month before we'd arrived, there was a sweatshop that had been operating right next to the school. And through the support of other churches, Trash Mountain Project was able to purchase that land and move the shop owner away from the school.
We thought we were going to tear them down. We, so let's get them out of here and let's tear them down and have leave it vacant for a while. But Pablo and them had a better idea. We got back down there and they'd taken the house where the guys were sewing and they'd actually fixed it up and made it a kitchen,
which transformed what was once a despicable place into something that was just beautiful and full of hope for the kids.
Pablo keeps increasing in students, and he's gone from up to around 250 at that point in time, and knew he needed to add more student spaces. We're trying to build buildings that are more to our standards in America, to our code systems, that are structurally sound, heavier wind loads, so keep the children safe, and also for the buildings to last longer.
It has been amazing to see how God has put together the teams that have come down to build these entire buildings in just a few days.
And at Christmas time, we had a group come in and we had shipped the container down that had floor joists in it, that had plywood, it had everything you needed for the third story. So we were able within 4 to 5 days for them to have a classroom. And then they took it after we left from there and made it nicer.
Construction has become such a big part of what we are doing with our holistic approach to sharing the gospel in Santiago, and with people like Dave and Rory and teams of professionals and non-professionals from TBC, Fellowship Bible, Access Church, all of these partners that have come alongside of us. He is getting the job done.
Well, one of the things that I remember is as we were driving along in the bus, people were taking photos out the window, and somebody said, "Oh, look at that cute little boy," and just as she said that, he squatted down to use the bathroom right there in the edge of the street. It kind of illustrates that the general hygiene was very, very poor. Sanitation non-existent. When it rains, all of everything just runs down the street.
The health conditions in the community are very poor. You see it even in their surroundings where they live. There's actually a creek right near the dump where people actually live, and it's you can see the chemicals actually running through the water. The water's tinted many colors from the different chemicals going through it.
We've quickly learned that health care is one of the biggest needs. These children just simply can't go to the doctor and have regular checkups. They don't have dental. They don't have any help with really anything in terms of health. And so we've developed an overall health care system for these children, and we were able to hold our first clinic with doctors, nurses, and medical professionals.
At first, we would ask them if they were having any problems with their digestion or had they had any issues, and they would say, no problems. But then when we would ask specifically, had they seen any parasites or any worms or anything, they would say, oh yes, of course. It's just a normal, everyday thing for them. So we were able to do a school-wide anti-parasite program. They all got treated when we were down there for parasites. Well, we found out that the diet that the children were eating was very high in sugar and very low in all kinds of nutrients, really. Low in protein and low in the micronutrients, the vitamins, the minerals, those kinds of things. Dr. Tague was able to take a little side trip to the grocery store, and he confirmed that that is the type of thing that was available in the stores. The sugary drinks, soda-type drinks, very low protein and very high carbohydrate kinds of foods were available in the stores.
After developing the nutritional program, we had another challenge of how we were going to feed 280 kids each day with a limited kitchen and untrained staff. But we just happened to have Robert, a professional chef, with us, and in just a few short days, he trained the women that we had hired from the community, and they are doing a great job feeding all of these children and keep telling everyone about their American chef mentor.
They're eating up the food, and you can tell they're enjoying it because it's the right foods for them. It's not the sugars and different things that they're getting outside in the community, but it truly is the right foods that's helping their bodies so that they can be more active, be more attentive in school, and as they run around and just have fun. It's just, they're normal kids. There's no different than the kids here in the States or kids here around the world.
It was great to see Robert and his new team of chefs prepare a meal for a large Christmas party that we threw with the kids, and gave out Bibles and toys, flip-flops, other fun things that had been donated just to share Christ's love in another way.
I've always thought that if we could go and build something that they can have year-round, not to give ourselves glorification, but so they know that they have a safe environment to learn in, they have a safe environment to pray in, and to use the skills that we've had here in the States, either in construction or in just being laborers, just willing to give.
It's exciting. God is definitely in the midst of this. These kids are seeing Christ through each avenue that we're helping them, if that's through building them a school, if that's through building them a house, if that's through giving them a bowl of food. You're an extension of Christ's hand, and that's what's awesome. We can be a part of that, and we can be Christ around the world.
God is working through Trash Mountain Project, and we can see that by just the amount of children that are in the school compared to on the dump, and that's what really hit me.
Even in their life and in the development of their life, with this program, it's making a huge difference.
If you have 1 or 2 people that know construction and you got 10 willing bodies, you can get the job done.
I remember hearing the same passion in Pastor Pablo's voice to give these kids a hope in Christ, and that they were going to have to close their doors simply because they didn't have the resources to continue their work. I strongly believe that this is why God has given us the opportunity to partner with them. And in less than a year, we have seen Him breathe new life into this ministry, and it seems that He is just getting started.